goodness, look at our circle this morning. Okay, have a seat on your bottom, have a seat. Oh, make sure you're on your bottom. Oh, you ready? Hudson, what role should we say first? Where are my, what? Oh, it's Hudson's turn. So I have another student in my classroom. His name is Hudson. Do you see them finding the number 3? Look at the number line. His mom was one that was very reluctant to do this program, and him being in a large classroom setting.
When I was first approached about the blended pre-K program, I was upset, never thought it was going to work, was looking at other places to put my child, and really scared, to be honest.
Hudson, at the beginning of the school year, had very few words. He did a lot of repeating of people when you asked him questions. He didn't have any spontaneous language. And so his mother in particular was very concerned about just, are we gonna meet his needs? Are we gonna do what's best for him? Is he gonna learn in a large group?
I just didn't think that he could keep up with the kids. I thought that he was kind of gonna have to be like, just not left behind, but just, you know, not being able to keep up with these kids.
Okay, Tiny Turtles, Hudson's ready to read this page. Can you help him? The little cub can climb. Awesome job, Hudson. And because he's had the opportunity in the blended pre-K model and to be around his gen ed peers all day long, and he's made such enormous progress and such growth, and he's been so successful.
So I had to kind of trust them, and they were the leaders of the administration. I moved to Prosper because of the special education aspect, so I just had to kind of believe and trust people, which was very difficult.
What shape is that? Triangle. Triangle? Good job. Okay.
And he's thrived. I mean, thrived more than I've ever seen in my life or expected, and it's because he's been with typical kids and gen ed kids and special needs kids, and you know, Mrs. Thorpe is just unbelievable.
Let's sing hello to Hudson. Hello, hello, hello. Let's sing hello to Sajid. Hello, hello, hello. He needs some visual reminders and some verbal reminders. He needs a little bit of repeated instruction. So he does still need support in the classroom above what a typical student would need, but it's something that we are absolutely able to do in the blended model. And his mom couldn't be more thrilled.
I see his future is so bright, and like I was so scared because of everything that I was being told about autism and how he wouldn't be able to do this and he wouldn't be able to do that, and my gosh, we're proving them wrong. Like, it's unbelievable.
There's kids with different special needs, and then there's typical kids, and they all coexist, all interact.
It's a play-based program. It's hands-on learning. You're singing, you're using this wonderful vocabulary. Students are getting the opportunity to interact with each other.
And they get to learn from each other. Not only by their teachers, but from each other, their peers.
Their students learn differently in the ways, in the modes of which they get it, and their experiences and the things that they need to learn best. But really, it's just an amazing opportunity for all students.
Students that weren't communicating very well or had social behaviors and things like that, they're with the entire group the entire day. In different settings, whether it be the classroom or at recess or in the lunchroom, and they get to model and get to observe and learn from their peers in different situations.
When we were originally kind of thinking about this idea, we went to work. We started doing all kinds of research. We reached out to our regional service center that was a wealth of knowledge for them to help guide us in our very first steps when we began thinking about this, developing this proposal. We actually went in road trips. We visited lots of districts who might have already been in this place.
We were very intentional in getting people that were here for the right reasons. Even in spite of our fast growth and the challenges that the pandemic brought, these teachers truly knew the importance of our children becoming and being ready for kindergarten. They're coming out of a pandemic. Many of these children had not left their home since they were born.
One of the most rewarding things that I've seen is that there have been not only teachers and staff, but families as well that have come back and said, you know what, I was really skeptical. I wasn't sure that this was going to be best, and I was vocal about it. But now, having seen the progress for my student or my child, I am so thankful that I trusted the district enough to kind of take this leap and go on this journey with you.
When I was first approached about the blended pre-K idea, I was really thrilled, actually. I have 2 daughters that have Down syndrome and one biological, one adopted. And the idea of having them be in a classroom that was fully inclusive was just a dream. It's really why we came to Prosper ISD.
Our initial reaction when we were approached about the blended pre-K program was skepticism, maybe that he would be bullied around or just not fit in or not be able to participate and follow directions, especially since he likes to play by himself most of the time. He likes solo time. So we had some pretty big hesitations at first.
And it really became a matter of trust. They knew that if it wasn't working, that we would make it right.
So we were a little hesitant, but also very excited because it would give them opportunity to be included and other kids to learn how to accept them and their differences.
The challenges are the same that any teacher faces in any classroom. You want to meet the needs of all of your students. Every student wants to be loved. Every student wants to feel safe. Everyone wants to be included. And at the end of the day, that is our #1 goal.
As we were thinking about all of the benefits that this was going to provide for our students and our families, we knew it was also going to be a big ask. It was going to be a mind shift for a lot of people, for our teachers and staff, and even for our families who were used to our early childhood special education program looking a certain way. I think when we're looking at thinking about our road trips and what we saw other places, we obviously had some different kind of challenges to work with. We didn't have an early childhood school per se. We will, but we don't just yet, to be able to service all of our students from 3 to 5 who are not yet school age in one place.
I always have to ask myself as a superintendent, when we're planning, visioning, working on programs, new things for the school district to make the learning opportunities better for our students, I always have to think in a 13-year increment, right? So it's not just the here and now, it's not just when the child is 4, but you have to think about a 3 or a 4-year-old, and then you have to look at them well into the future to see that child walking across a graduation stage.
I think the biggest benefit for our children is that they see typical kids and how they interact, and they're able to model that.
It's a very language-enriched program. It's very structured, but it also teaches our children to be highly engaged with each other.
So I think the biggest difference is the support and the way the teachers build relationships with those students in their classroom. Not that we didn't before, but we had several different classes half day, and this way they get those kids and those families for the entire day to build those relationships, which then supports those students in any of the needs that they have. That's probably the biggest positive part that I see.
One story that just made me so happy and emotional to think about was how both girls really came in with not a lot of vocabulary, and seeing how much their speech has increased has been amazing. One of my daughters actually uses a device in order to augment her speech, and as she was learning in the classroom, she was teaching the class sign language, because we've used sign language as well. And as she was teaching sign language, she then got her iPad to show how to say the word turtle. And the teacher sent me this beautiful picture of the entire class just gathered around, heads down, looking at the iPad, and her teaching them how to say the word turtle. So things like that, as a parent with actually 2 kids that have special needs, seeing how she's embraced and how they're both embraced and loved on has just been really amazing.
The benefits for Caleb, our son, have been, I think, tremendous. He plays with other kids. He actually initiates play now, which was a very new thing at the end of the year so far. But he would not have done that before. He's just made a ton of friends, and obviously his vocabulary is coming along. His numbers are coming along. He's just more vocal, more affectionate even, maybe a little bit. So I think a lot of that comes from him being around other kids and seeing how they act with one another.
For us as parents, it's just been cool just to hear how she's taken to that, and just how she's been very helpful with her friends and very kind. I mean, really as a parent, that's what you want, right? And so I think really for us, it's been kind of cool to see that natural transition, and it's made us super proud of her. It's been cool to see the progress that she's made, but hear about the progress that other kids have made as well. And if they didn't have this opportunity, I don't know that kids would be able to make that progress as they transition into kindergarten and throughout their educational career.
We have students that are now talking in sentences. They're communicating in social behaviors, doing a lot of those different things where they weren't last year as they're growing. But also for just our general ed students that are in that blended pre-K to be models for all students.
When thinking about blended pre-K and really going all in on this, that's why it became a yes, an easy yes, because you have to think about that early childhood impact and all that can happen for that child. And then thinking about looking at these kids into the future and to watch them walk across the stage and graduate and to know where they're going, like that's what we're all in this for in education, is that moment to know what is going to happen with their future and what we've invested in financially, but more importantly, relationship-wise with families and their kids, to know that we gave them the best that we could possibly give them in the 13, 14 years for our pre-K kids, of them being here with us.
Both sides benefit. The acceptance that the general education students and teachers and other staff learn is hugely important, not only at school, but in life. And for the special education children to know that they have people they can count on, not only at home, but at school, and friends that love them regardless of their differences.
When you see our Gen Ed kids, they actually go and help out with our SPED kids. It's actually very nice, very interesting to see them try to help out and to see the other kids learn from the other kids. So everyone is learning from everyone, and it's very nice.
And as educators, we always talk about students that are different culturally, but now students are getting the opportunity to know and understand how students' learning differences, how they communicate different, and they're being accepting and loving students of all different walks of life, which is really applying in the real world, because when they are adults, that's what the world is going to be like. But now students are getting to interact and build friendships in ways that they typically wouldn't have.
I think we're right where we need to be in our inaugural year. I think, of course, we're going to grow and evolve and change, as you always would, as you are kind of looking at your practices and understanding maybe some things that you could always tweak and do better. But I'm so proud of the work that our teachers and staff have done in conjunction with our families this year.
I think one thing that's important for parents to know going forward, and where we have some concerns too, is this is great right now for pre-K. We wish it was there for kindergarten and first grade and beyond. And that's a direction that we feel like this program has to go in, because after the program, now where do we go? We're left with a lot of questions between comm classes and integration into normal kindergarten. Can he handle those standards? Can he not? Can he have an aide there? Can he not? So there's a lot of open-ended things that, I think for this to be a truly successful program for the district, that it has to progress beyond the pre-K. You can see the benefit of it there, but it has to be implemented throughout elementary school.
I want to go to Austin to recommend this program to others, because it is so impactful. It has changed our lives. People don't know about it. Like, we need more people to know about these programs and how amazing they are. And Prosper has just soared, and this is exactly the reason I moved to Prosper. I was only 6 miles away, and I moved here just because of the special education program, not even knowing about this opportunity of these blended classes. I, again, wanted to do the blended class again. And of course, I'm trusting Ms. Thorpe because he's like, he can do it. I've seen it. He's going to do it, and he's going to thrive.
The best part of this experience kind of goes back to his probably personal growth with his relationships. There's a couple kids in class that very much kind of look at him like, oh, hey, we're going to take care of Caleb, and kind of mother him a little bit. But recently, we saw a video from school where he was actually initiating play, and the whole class was playing with him. So he really was included, and I think that's by far the best part.
In the beginning of the school year, some of the students didn't quite understand, why is my friend not communicating? I'm trying to talk to them, I'm wanting to include them, I'm asking her to play, and she's not answering me. So we had big conversations about what that means to learn differently, how we all communicate differently, how some students use gestures or a communication device or maybe sounds to communicate, but they're still able to listen and hear, and they're going to communicate in different ways, even with just an eye gaze.
The best part of this experience from our viewpoint has been just the conversations that it's allowed us to have with Dylan about the different students in her classroom. Had she not been in this environment and been in a typical pre-K class, I don't know that would have allowed us to navigate some of the conversations that we did with her.
One of the great benefits of this program is the friendships that the students are building with each other. And I have two students in particular, two girls named Dylan and Hollis. One is a special education student and one is a general education student. And they have developed this beautiful friendship.
Really, I think that's been the most beneficial thing for us as parents, and then also just hearing how she's been with her peers in class from her teachers and just how she's been very helpful and very kind and very open. I think had she not been in this environment, I don't know that would have allowed her that opportunity.
When we come in the morning and hang up our backpacks, Dylan would help Hollis answer the question of the day. She helps her open her markers when it's time for writing or getting her a crayon and ask her, what color do you want? And if Hollis points to one or kind of reaches for one, she knows that she's now saying, oh, I want the red crayon. So they have developed this really, really amazing bond.
Sometimes I read her books and sometimes I play with her.
Dylan is a sweet little girl. She's Hollis's first general education friend.
And Dylan was one who embraced and loved all of her friends, and she developed this great relationship with Hollis in particular. And every time we were getting in line to go to recess, Dylan would grab her hand and say, Hollis, let's go, it's time for recess.
I know that in class, Dylan helps her uncap her markers and put them back on again, and helps her get things set up and leads her in the line, and they hold hands and they swing at recess. And I'm so glad that she has her.
Sometimes when we get in line and go to recess, I hold her hand.
Yeah. Tell them what she did. Where did she come a couple weekends ago?
She came to my birthday.
Yeah.
She invited Hollis to her birthday party, and it meant the world to us. We would have never missed it.
Dylan even invited Hollis to her birthday party, and Hollis attended, and they had the best time playing on the swing in Dylan's backyard, and it was something that was really special too for both sets of parents. Hollis's mom didn't think that Hollis was going to be able to build, typical friendships, and it has just been such a blessing to all of us and their families.
The benefits that we've got out of this program are that we know that our kids can successfully attend school throughout their school years, that we don't have to worry about them like we initially thought we were going to have to, that they wouldn't fit in, that they wouldn't have friends. Like those things, we know they'll be okay and they'll be supported and we'll make it through.
It's actually a miracle. I never, ever thought that my child would be at what he's doing now, because I was told he wasn't. The doctors told me he wouldn't be able to do this. Educators told me he wasn't going to be able to do this. and he's thriving.
Our expectation is that this program is going to continue to grow and flourish and blossom, and that even more children's lives will be impacted and that families' lives will be changed for the better.